fellow gamers, World of Warcraft players, YouTubers, fans, and friends alike. Welcome to the channel. This is a Cunning WoW production presented to you by me, your host, Swingshift. Today in this video, I am discussing Unholy Deathknight. What's up, everybody? As I said, this is Unholy Deathknight PvP. Some of the changes, it's what I'm working with. If you work with it, cool. If not, that's cool too. You can post in the comments below either what you use or what you might recommend versus what I use. It's me, Swingshift, your host. This is my personal specialization for talents, glyphs. I will also mention some of the changes, like I just said, some of the stats to go along with that. I will have some things on the screen and down in the comments below throughout the video. I will also have some arena, battleground, PvP clips at the end to kind of witness and see some of the things that I do. As a side note, just as I said in my tanking video, it's worth mentioning that this is not the end-all be-all. There is no end-all be-all to PvP. I believe it's all personal preference and a lot of different things can work at any given time. This is just what suits me best for my playstyle. You can use this guide as just that, a guide, and tailor it to your own playstyle. Now, having said that, you can see I'm obviously unholy. That's how I roll when I PvP. I'm not Frost. I've never been Frost. I have no desire to be Frost. I'm not clowning on it. I'm not clowning on the spec or downing it in any way. It's just I choose unholy, and that's my preference. I do love the dark transformation to turn a little ghoul into a big ghoul so he can go over there and stomp some faces, yes, but that's my preference. Getting on to the talents. First tier, I like to use Plague Bearer. I use Lichborn. 2-minute cooldown. As you know, I'm not fond of 2-minute cooldowns, but that does give me a get out of jail free card. That's what I call it when you can get out of things. I am not human, so I don't have that racial. So I use this, plus it can also give me some leech. And if I can death coil myself while I'm using it, some heal on top of that. Next tier, Asphyxiate. I love the 30-second cooldown. 5-second stun. I don't think you can beat it. I want to use and try out Chillblains. I'm not sure how well it works. It may or may not. Death's Advance is not a bad talent as well. But as my go-to, Asphyxiate. Next tier, Runic Corruption. Passive ability. Rune regeneration by 100% for 3 seconds when it does decide to proc. That, along with the Unholy stance, gives you a ton of regeneration. Plus, passive ability, and I like having a little bit more passive abilities in PvP. That's just less buttons and things on my action bars that I have to deal with. Next tier, I've been messing around with Death Siphon. I do use conversion sometimes. Death Siphon's one of the ones they changed going into 6.1. It's increased. It was 333% of the damage dealt. It is now 400%. We're going to see how well that's going to heal us. Conversion is also good to use. Since it's based on percentage and your maximum health, it's better to pull up your runic power, which I do normally in Frost Presence. And then I will switch to Blood because you have the higher health. And since it's off percentage off of higher health means you get more of a heal. Next tier, I use Desecrated Ground, kind of like Lichborn. It gets me out of stuff. 2-minute cooldown, but still, get out of jail free card, that's number 2. So the more times I can get out of things, the more damage I can do. Maybe I could save somebody. Maybe I can even win the match if it's an arena or help do something in battlegrounds as well. So that is my go-to. Third tier, this is the level 100 talents, of course. Necrotic Plague. It has a great chemistry with Plague Bearer, and if you're going to choose one or the other, you might as well choose the other one to go with it. Defile's not bad for damage. Sindragosa is okay. I haven't messed around with it a lot. I'm going to try it out a little bit more. These 3 talents have been changed. You get no runic power gain from Necrotic Plague, no mitigation from Defile, no heal from Breath of Sindragosa, and the runic power use to initially use it is gone. It's only per second now, so it's free to use, and it costs 15 runic power per second. This is for Unholy and Frost DKs only. It does not affect blood specialization. My third get out of jail free card is obviously a trinket, so I have 3 of those I could use at any given time, and more often than not I'm really not stun locked at any given single time. The glyphs that I use: Glyph of the Ice Reaper, Glyph of Empowerment, Glyph of Shifting Presences. I use Ice Reaper and whatever runes you use to cast your Chains of Ice, which is 1 frost. It will change that into a death rune. The more death runes you have, the more you can use your other abilities. Death Strike, Reaper, Scourge Strike. You get the idea. Glyph of Empowerment gives you a heal when you use Empower Rune Weapon. It's also based on a percentage, 30%, and off maximum health. So of course, just like conversion, it's better off to use it when you're in blood presence, so you get the higher percentage of a heal back to you. Glyph of Shifting Presences, I use that as if you cannot see already. I do switch back and forth from presence to presence often, so I retain 70% of that runic power, and you need runic power to do a lot of different things, so it is a very good glyph that I use. Other glyphs that can be notable: Glyph of Dark Simulacrum, however you want to pronounce it, you know what it is. I've used it before. I don't like it over these other glyphs. I've tried Enduring Infection to see long-term uptime on diseases. I haven't put it to a real good test though. Icy Runes is another one you could use to get your runic power back, and Icy Touch for dispels. Runic Power, this is the glyph that was changed coming into 6.1. It knocked the runic power gain down from 3 to 2 every 1 second, which is not a significant change. I don't even think it would have made a difference if they put it down to 1 or upped it to 5. I'm not sure if that would even affect anything really in the long term. Especially, this is when you're struck by movement and parrying effects, but if you got 3 get out of jail free cards like I do, and if you use Death's Advance, that's also something that can mitigate some of your slows, then you will never be impaired for the most part, so it makes no sense to waste a glyph on that. Minor glyphs, unnecessary really in PvP, unless you might want to use Path of Frost. Anything else is not that big of a deal. Maybe Resilient Grip, but it's cosmetic. Oh, my guy turned around. Get back around here. Okay, some of the macros. I'll show you some of them that I use. Most of them have to do with your ghoul, your pet. And you want to macro in either pet attack or what I have here with the exclamation point and the claw to your abilities. So that way he's always attacking whatever you're attacking for the most damage that you can possibly get. I do have this Gargoyle DPS macro. I use it when I have Dark Transformation up. It summons a gargoyle and it uses my on-use trinket all at the same time. It's a pretty good little burst, especially if I have runic power pulled up. I have a self-heal here with Lichborn, so I can target myself, and if I have enough runic power I can death coil myself, and if I have health stones I can use it all at the same time. Gives you a pretty good heal. I have some mouse over and arena macros. Stance changing macro, very good. Click the button once, go to blood, back to unholy, back to blood. If I click shift, it goes into frost. But those are some of the macros. I'll try to hover over each one that's necessary so you can see them if you want to double check back. Those are the macros that I use. I've been intending to make more, I just haven't as of yet. So let's get a look at the gear I'm currently working with. Some blues, some purples. I haven't got all my conquest gear yet. I do have the set bonuses. This PvP gear actually don't look too bad, even as a blue set. The stats that you want to go for Unholy PvP is Mastery and Haste, and it's your personal preference to choose whichever one you want to deal with. You can go more Haste than Mastery or more Mastery than Haste. That's just your preference. More Mastery, of course, is just straight up shadow damage done. Haste is faster rune regeneration, faster attack speed, your ghoul attack faster. I believe you get more or faster sudden doom procs, which could equal faster ghoul changing for dark transformation. Have more uptime on it, or you can just have more mastery and have more straight up shadow damage done. It's just your personal preference, whichever way you want to do it. I go for more mastery because a lot of times I'll stay in Unholy Presence, which gives me a really good amount of haste, so you kind of get the best of both worlds there. I do have some multi-strike. I finally got my conquest weapon. It looks really cool. It looks like a big ass iceberg attached to a stick, so I can just go around and smack people in the face with this big old glacier. It's pretty fun. Maybe the ultimate type weapon if you think about it, right? Not capped out for the week. Of course, it's a new week, so of course it's not. But anyways, fellas, that's the rundown on my Unholy PvP, my glyphs, my abilities, my macros, some of the gear, stats you can go for, and when you're gymming or enchanting, whichever stat that you choose to go for, whether it's mastery or haste, then gym and enchant accordingly. So if you're going for mastery, gym, enchant, mastery. As I stated earlier, I will show some PvP clips from arena or skirmishes or random battlegrounds, whatever I can throw in there to try to test out Death Siphon, see how well it works now as far as the heal. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the section below and I'll try to get an answer back to you as soon as I can. And again, thanks for tuning into my channel, and please subscribe, like, and comment. And we'll see you when I get the next video out. But as for now, have a good one.